welcome. This is the Modern Geek Podcast, coming at you live. Please subscribe through YouTube or Twitch. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, this is the Modern Geek, also known as Vant Mario, and today I have a special video for us. That video is going to be Amiibo related. So here in the States, we currently went through our last wave and release of Amiibos. So you remember some of those guys like Charizard. Also of that wave was Wario, and in that wave was also Silver Mario. We had Jigglypuff. We also had, who else was in that wave? The Splatoon characters. So you guys saw we did some unboxings of those guys. Robin, Lucina, all of those characters were in our last wave. But I was lucky enough, and a friend of mine was lucky enough to actually be at a store that was offering the next wave Japanese figures. So for you folks that are not Amiibo aficionados, and this is more of a primer for Amiibos, because I said I was going to do one of these videos. I'm going to be doing one of them for each of the different Toy to Life franchises. So Amiibos are basically toys that inside their base they have a chip, and when you put it on the reader, either in your new 3DS or in your Wii U gamepad, you're able to read that character and things will happen. Now in the case of Amiibos, it's a little bit different because what they do is different things and sort of add-ons and extras in games. Traditionally up to this point, when you were working with toys with the chip in them, most of the time it was you were that character in the game. So if you are familiar with Disney Infinity or you're familiar with Skylanders, that's their general principle. Nintendo kind of took it in a different direction, which is kind of cool and makes them a little bit more versatile. And I think one of the things I've commented on other videos about is I think that's part of why they're a little bit more highly detailed. Because Nintendo kind of realized that they need to be a little bit highly detailed. So, like for instance, if you take a typical Infinity figure, which is still very cool, you know, they have a style. They're stylized, so they have their own art style. Still, in my opinion, are still very nice collectible figures. Where Disney Infinity kind of does things differently is I think their poses are a lot more dramatic, so they look very purposeful, like they're doing things. So all of them are desirable from a collectible standpoint, but I think the Nintendo ones really, I would say, pride themselves on the detail because they're so highly detailed, so they make them, collecting them, very, very amazing. And also, in the case of things like Disney Infinity and Skylanders is its own franchise and it's unique because all the characters are unique to that world. But in the case of Disney, like, it's not the first time in a lot of cases we've had toys or figures that were based on these characters, whereas with the Nintendo stuff, besides the Mario core figures and maybe the Pokemon figures in some case, we really haven't had some of these characters in figure form. So it makes it kind of desirable to want to collect them. But again, statues and figures have been more collectible in the last 5-10 years, so it's a little bit different. You know, that's kind of the take on it. And so far we've had 3 franchises that have had Amiibos tied to them. That's going to be Smash Brothers, that's going to be Mario Party, and that's going to be Splatoon. We have a lot of other Amiibos coming down the pike, as they announced at E3, so we have a lot of other Amiibos to look forward to, and quite a bit more of the sets that we already have, because Smash Brothers, essentially they're doing one for every character in Smash Brothers, which is a lot of characters. And today, I actually have one of those New Wave ones, which is Mr. Ganondorf. We're not going to do an unboxing today. I normally do unboxing of these guys, but because this was a little special and I only have the one, I want to keep him boxed until we're lucky enough to get him here, but we'll take a closer look at it. so we can kind of see. And also what's cool about this is it is a Japanese one as opposed to an American one. So the packaging is slightly different, and there's some stuff that we can go over. And the reason why we were able to get this is because in Japan, unlike here, all of the Amiibos are out. So meaning they're ahead of us and more Amiibos are available. And unlike America, the ability to get these things is a lot easier. So that's why the Japanese versions of these characters, which by the way, for the record, a Japanese Amiibo will work the same way that a American Amiibo will work. So there's no need to fear if you do see them in stores or somewhere to get it, because it'll work. It's universal. But they have them in a much greater supply, so that's going to be why even your Amiibo is not too ridiculous. So for a lot of people who have been having trouble getting certain ones, I actually recommend that you get in a Japanese version. You still won't pay the regular price for it. It's still going to be more, but it's going to be a lot less than paying some of the larger prices for you know, the other desirable ones where people are marking these up for a large ridiculous prices. So let's take a closer look. So pretty much the packaging is the same. I mean, obviously Super Smash Brothers is written in Japanese on this packaging. You'll notice both English and Japanese are there for the name, which is kind of cool because then you actually find out the name of these characters in Japanese. Still got Ganondorf on the back, so the package art is still the same. Amiibo, and then we have the Japanese translation for Amiibo, which is pretty cool. And if we look down, we have the writing for the kind of warnings and stuff, which they include in the Japanese version. They don't include in the American version. And then here's where we're going to see the biggest difference. So you can see here, so if we look at an American packaging, it usually says complete, collect, customize, and has all that stuff. But here they actually, if you look, they actually give you some different things that your Amiibo can do, which is kind of cool because I think it alludes to a couple things that for us in America when we first got these we're not very savvy on, but the idea that you could stat up the character, which I think, see the character when you scan them. In fact, the element or idea that, hey, what would happen if you take an Amiibo from another game and put it on the pad, and you might find a surprise. So what it looks like in Japan is they're marketing these more with the whole idea of there's some mystery to them or hidden functionality or something you're going to find or explore, which I think is kind of cool. So I feel it's a little bit more precise. You'll notice a white Wii U gamepad is in their example instead of the black one that we keep getting. So that means that there are white systems, if you're not aware of that. And then slightly different art for this. It has the character, some other warning. Basically, I'm going to assume it says Amiibos join the battle, which is what the American packaging says, level up to 50. And then it has the in-game art. And then all the warnings. And of course, everything's in Japanese because it's Japanese. And then we have nothing really on the bottom. Per opening, these, one of the things I have not tried with this, I think I tried it with the Marth that I had, and I think it was no success. But Amiibos have a block or sticker to block the figure from reading through it. I believe the Japanese ones are the same, so I believe you cannot play with this in the packaging, which I'm always annoyed by because I love keeping, especially these because they're really collectible, in packaging, which is why it takes me so long to do unboxings because I have to wait until I get 2 of them to do an unboxing. So I'm hoping that I can try and see if this will work. It may not, but we'll see. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little primer on Amiibos. I hope you enjoyed a little first quick look at Ganondorf, again, the figure I think is amazing. They did a really awesome job. It's hard to see, but there's all detail on his cape. They did kind of that tattered cape that he has. That sort of big pose, shiny armor, massive amount of paint detail on the armor, which is great. Really, really nice. Not a blemish on it at all, which is crazy. But I really enjoyed it. I'm really a big fan, a Ganondorf fan. I'm a big Zelda fan. So with that, I close this video. Please, in the comments, let me know, have you guys been playing around with the Japanese ones? Have you been finding characters that you really want via the Japanese versions? Are you getting your hands on the sort of pre-release of that wave because you're able to get some Japanese versions of those characters of the new wave that's coming out? And are you excited for the new Amiibos that are coming out to us within the holidays? Quite a few titles that will have their own Amiibo lines. So awesome, guys. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube and Twitch under Vant Mario, and we'll see you at the next video. Take care.